Hello and welcome to a new video. Much to everyone's surprise, the Scorn developers have finally updated and shown us a fairly lengthy bit of gameplay here. And unlike everyone else just making lame reaction videos, I'm actually going to be talking about its content, telling you all the new things and also things that we have seen before but have been updated and finalized, because the Scorn developers really are sort of the masters of not actually showing anything new. There's quite a few elements and creatures and things in this trailer that we have seen before, but you might have missed unless you're some super obsessed wanker like I am. So let's begin. The first of them are these giant floppy bastards, these lumbering things that just charge at Scorn Guy trying to smack them. One interesting thing about them is that they can be blocked off by these fences, and I do have a suspicion about the purpose of these fences in the entire facility, and they're smart enough to know when they're blocked. But interestingly enough, they also seem to transport other creatures, and that might actually be their primary purpose. It's a bit difficult to see in the trailer itself, but after Scorn Guy uses the grenade launcher on it, which I will be talking about a bit later, there still are a few creatures left over from the initial explosion that are still alive and are still immediately hostile to Scorn Guy, probably because he destroyed their ride. A textureless version of the creature was shown off in one of the Kickstarter animations displaying its walk cycle. The developers have stated it's a completely new creature, however it's very clearly a variant of the many other creatures we've seen in this trailer and previous materials, having the same yellowish skin and red flesh poking out from it. Hey, remember the gun attachment Scorn Guy pointed at, this withering, dying abomination that appears in basically every single trailer and promotional material after this? Well, here's it now. Feel old yet? This is a grenade launcher. We actually only knew about it for the longest time from the game files, but we've never seen it in action until now, and it does seem to be pretty devastating, causing a small explosion followed by a massive shockwave. And great news about it actually, it can, in fact, kill ceiling penises. Speaking of which, here's what the ceiling penis looked like in the demo files, and here's what it looks like in the actual game. Other than looking a bit mushroomy, it's a lot easier to see its head that has some ridges and patterns on it. Kinda looks like a Chinese lantern actually. One detail I've noticed is that Scorn Guy always has his currently equipped weapon sort of held up to his chest. This is likely to let the player know exactly what module is currently equipped, so they won't be caught off guard. But compare that with the gameplay trailer and demo where he's not currently holding anything up to his chest, and you have to bring the weapon up in order to defend yourself. The pistol and shotgun make a return, but there's this new weapon/tool. It's mainly been shown to open and close these gates. However, it is also possible to go on the offensive by just jabbing it into any unfortunate creature trying to attack you. There's a little animation that'll probably leave you vulnerable, so you can't use it in crowds, but does seem like something that can be used if you run out of ammunition. And I'm aware it's a bit disjointed to go from weapons to creatures to weapons, but let's talk about the fauna of the trailer. So, in the gameplay trailer and demo, the two creatures, the bears and the kiwis, have different attacks. The kiwis fill up some membranous sack with some sort of acid and tries lobbing it at the player, while the bears tend to shoot from afar as well, pelting you with some little bit of biological matter. Meanwhile, in the new trailer, they fire bits of biological crap at you before backing away, and also take 2 hits instead of 1 like in the demo. And the bears take an entire 3 hits with the pistol as opposed to the 2 from the demo and gameplay trailer, and when one of them gets too close to you, it'll spray some acid in your face. No word on if it will still try to latch on to the player and kill him that way. Oh, and the floppy bastards take 2 shotgun hits to put down, which might translate into maybe 4 pistol shots. Expensive bastards they are. This door here, this circular one he goes through, is actually from some concept art in a rather early update on Kickstarter. And can we just talk about how stupid and inconvenient Scorn architecture is? Oh, you want to go through that door, but it's blocked? Well, you have to go up a different level, stick a thing in a thing, and wait for it to rotate. And then after that's done, you have to go down an elevator, and then you can finally go through the door. So they basically need like 1 Scorn person down there and 1 Scorn person on the second level, keeping watch at that door just in case someone needs to go through and handle whatever business they need to attend to. No wonder everything went to shit. Anyway, here's a stone key and door from the gameplay trailer and demo. And here's their equivalent in the new gameplay trailer. Not exactly a stone key anymore, and the way the door opens is actually pretty much the same as the giant door from the reveal trailer. In one of the updates, there's this clip of these giant metal spheres rising up and a mechanism trying to move one, and based on the size of the bear corpses in the background, we can guess that they're pretty large, likely larger than Scorn Guy himself even. These ones here seem to have some glassy interior. Even though the glassy interior is missing, the gameplay trailer has revealed that they're basically some mechanism that allows Scorn people to move from one part of the facility to another fairly rapidly. And it's able to not just move horizontally, but also vertically, and able to self-correct to the floor so Scorn Guy isn't tumbling around. In the gameplay trailer and demo, when Scorn Guy interacts with the machine, he presses a little button. That has since been replaced by sticking your fingers in these little flesh nodules in order to activate things, because of course nothing is simple and not rather disgusting in Scorn World. One thing people have been wondering from the demos how to get more ammunition, which apparently he uses his mechanism that pulls in these little pellets from its storage and then implants them into this coral thing, which by the way, the coral thing does appear in the demo files. Speaking of the coral thing, in the Series X trailer we see Scorn Guy stab his wrist mechanism and then insert some tentacle thing into the pregnant entity in order to wake it up, or at least part of it. Whatever the hell this is supposed to be anyways. And in the new trailer, not only do we see it's used to store your ammunition, and like with the pregnant entity, Scorn Guy stabs a thing on his wrist in order to heal himself, which should mean that he gets that wrist thing very early on in the game, considering how integral it is to getting more health. Which, mind you, we see the machine that lets him get more healing things, which does have the same sort of limit as the ammunition machines. Nothing's infinite in Scorn. But the big question is, what exactly is going on? What is this place and why is he here? Well, I think this facility actually has some information about these bears that keep cropping up in all the promotional material. The developers have confirmed that this trailer takes place in the same general area as the 2017 gameplay trailer and demo, which makes sense because you see the same bunch of creatures as well as all this red weed crap everywhere in there as well. And I can even speculate that the Series X trailer also takes place nearby, given the red weed everywhere in those locations. Within the circular rooms are these large walnut-looking things that when open seem to leak out a bunch of red weed, as well as you can sort of see the spindly limb of a bear there. And here's another shot of them, only this time there's 4 of them. They're all exactly where they're supposed to be, and they're attached to something that hasn't been devastated, despite the destruction of the area around it. I think this is how the room was generally supposed to look before everything went to hell. And that's not even the only such example, although this one doesn't have quite the amount of glowing red light in the center as the other one did. Also notice how there's these cages in between these circular rooms that when activated will trap anything inside that room and prevent it from escaping. And these cages are very effective at keeping dangerous creatures at bay. Even the floppy bastards isn't able to break through. So what I'm thinking is that this takes place in some sort of facility that was growing or harvesting these strange creatures, perhaps to use their biomass for the various machinery that the Scorn people have created. The rooms can be caged in just in case there's some unexpected issue, but unfortunately something has happened that resulted in these creatures flooding out and infesting the entire area. Perhaps even everything fell apart here because some of the creatures broke out and weren't able to be contained in time. And this is despite the evident preparations they had just in case such an incident were to occur. In fact, I wonder if the gun itself has been created in part by the bears because of the same red fleshy mass. This is the first trailer I've seen that doesn't raise more questions than answers, but I still am curious about what this light that appeared at the beginning is. And if it's looking for Scorn Guy, is it something you want to shine over you or something you want to avoid? Because it doesn't seem to react to any of the creatures as far as I can see. And then of course there's the very end of the trailer with the footage traversing over what I can only assume to be the ruined surface of the Scorn world, breaking through the thick pink haze before finally arriving at a mysterious gateway, something that looks oddly out of place in Scorn, though it still does seem to utilize the same general technology and architecture. It certainly stands out amongst the environment, and Scorn Guy just goes in. And what's strange is, for all the alien nature of Scorn's architecture, it still is very much grounded. When you go in an entrance, there's going to be another room behind it that also had to be constructed. Elevators, spheres, whatever get you from point A to point B, if not just a straight up tunnel. Meanwhile, there's no such thing for this particular entrance. It's a portal into a strange, unknown black abyss. There is something alive on top, a head perhaps, or maybe an exposed brain. Even at the highest settings, because of the pink haze, it's kind of hard to make out any detail. It's just worth pointing out that the developers highlight the fact that the world of Scorn is supposed to be interconnected, and yet this seems anything but. And that's about everything I was able to discern from this recent trailer. It certainly did answer a few pressing gameplay questions, and while not necessarily showing off a super new environment, did give us an idea of just how much work has gone on since the 2017 gameplay trailer. In any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, that I gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care.